Hello, my name's Claire Bills and I'm the head teacher at Gunthorpe COV Primary School. I want to start by reading a verse from Lamentations chapter 3. So I say, my splendour is gone, and all that I had hoped from the Lord. I remember my affliction and my wandering, the bitterness and the gall. I well remember them, and my soul is downcast within me. Yet this I call to mind, and therefore I have hope. Because of the Lord's great love, we were not consumed. For his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. I say to myself, the Lord is my portion, therefore I will wait for him. And what a challenge we have faced across the country over this last year. I'm sure at times you felt like me, your soul is a bit downcast. And yet for me, the hope of God's faithfulness is what's carried me through. As a leader of a very small school, lockdown has changed significantly over the last year. In the first lockdown, we had a very small number of children at the start, less than 10. So as you can imagine, staffing that and meeting the needs of the children at home was very different from the end of the last lockdown, when we had more than 50% of our children in. And it's felt like a constant cycle of reviewing, risk assessing, sharing with staff and making things work. And it's been exhausting. Staff and pupils have had to learn to be patient with one another as we discovered what this new normal and home learning looked like. And I've carried the weight of that and everyone's anxieties. Yeah, I'm sure like many of you, suffered from illness and illness with my family, and that's been hard not to be able to support them as we would have liked to. But it hasn't changed the fact that God has been faithful throughout. And I'm so glad that this Easter season, we're all back together, and it has been such a privilege to have the children back and to use this Lenten time to prepare our hearts and minds. The theme we've looked at in school is the Live Lent, God's story and our story. And I'm sat in front of a picture called The Big Freeze, which is an Understanding Christianity resource. And it just beautifully tells the story from creation, through the fall, through the Old Testament stories, to Jesus' birth, his gospel message, his resurrection, and the revelation at the end. And as at school, we've looked back and discovered afresh how God is the same. He always was and always will be. The same God who walked with Adam and Eve, who taught us how important it is to rest, that God created Sabbath for us, and perhaps that's something I've learned and I hope you may have as well. We've looked through the journey of God's people, of Moses leading his people out of slavery into such a time of change and uncertainty, and that certainly resonated with me. For David, the shepherd boy, who was not afraid because he knew his God was greater than any giant. To Daniel, who prayed, and I love this prayer from Daniel, the God that we serve is able to deliver us from it, and he will. But even if he does not, we will not worship your God. I know those words from Meshach and Abednego just show such a strong faith. And we've journeyed through the New Testament, seen Jesus' miracles through the children's eyes, and that is just such a joy. And as we approach Easter, I'd just like to end by sharing 3 lines that really have kept me going through it. And this poster sits on my desk. Be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, and faithful in prayer. Have a blessed Easter.